Ron, good to see you again. My pleasure, my pleasure. Mr. Cameraman, did I block your view? Hey, don't rub it in.
There is a very it's part of very
Yeah, I've been busy getting ready to go back to Reives.
Where's that?
I was going to grab a seat for Beverly. Actually,
Yeah.
well,
And I am the mayor of Pittsburgh. Well, it's been a tough week in Pittsburgh. It's been a tough couple of weeks in Pittsburgh. And I choose not to reflect on that and instead talk about the strength that we have in adversity. We're not here to reflect on past events. We're here to celebrate the present and the future. The privilege of having Robert Reives as our state representative, the privilege of Cynthia Reives and the children sharing Robert with us. So thank you, Cynthia, Brianna, and Tia. I don't need to tell you that this community is really quite amazing. It's a place where farmers, teachers, scientists, people who work with their hands, all grades of people whose hands and hearts and minds fashion our quality of life today and mold the caring that we will exhibit to the next generation. I've always loved that about Chatham County, the way we work together. And I'm sure we have folks from Lee County as well, where the same applies as well. We are diverse. Our goals are for the common good, peace, equality, and prosperity. And they all these goals make us a better community. So welcome today to you to celebrate a man who listens to us, a man who is rooted in our community, who knows us, knows what we need from state government. Just imagine how frustrating his job must be. To face a legislative majority that does not share his vision, one example being the September 11th budget vote. But if Robert Reives is discouraged, I've never seen it. He needs, and hopefully will in 2020, have a new, complete majority in the State House, and the same for Valerie Rafushi in the Senate. And the victories will not stop there. So let us be together and enjoy this afternoon.
Let us pray before our meal together today. Dear God, for what we're about to receive, let us be truly thankful to those who planted the crops, to those who cultivated the fields, to those who gathered the harvest. For what we're about to receive, let us be truly thankful to those who prepped the food and to those that served it. In this festivity, let us remember too those who have no festivity, those who cannot share in this meal with us, those whose lives may be more affected than our own by poverty, prejudice, and injustice. In sharing in this meal, let us be truly thankful for the food that nourishes our bodies and the fellowship that nourishes our souls. And with this nourishment, restore our strength and find new energy to not only pray and speak of justice, but to act in just ways. And once restored, may we continue building our beloved community where love and trust triumph over hate and fear. God, we give you thanks. Amen.
It's my happy duty to introduce elected officials who might be with us tonight. There is somewhere a list, but since I don't see the list, we'll just go from the cuff here. First of all, for some reason, the school board always gets the last introduction, so I'd like to start with the school board. Do we have members of the school board with us tonight? Thank you, Milton. Do we have members of the County Commission? We have Chairman Mike Dasher. Commissioner Karen Howard. Any other commissioners? Okay, I don't see any. Town commissioners. John Bonitz. Is Pat Wilson Foley with you back there? I saw her at another event, so maybe she is on her way. All right. Now, Pam Baldwin, our Mayor Pro Tem of the town of Pittsburgh. And let's see, on my list here. All right. Now to the current Register of Deeds, Lindsay Grigsby is with us. And Dana, I believe you're here, the clerk of court. I may have skipped over, let's see. Okay, our former clerk of court, Sam Cooper. From the Sour City Board, Larry Cheatley. And let's see. We have judges with us today, the Honorable Sharon Morrell. Sharon. And Elaine Marshall, our Secretary of State. Thank you. Kevin Hernandez is with us. Okay. Matt Hughes is with us. Charles Beasley is with us. Charles Post. Chuck Post. Okay. And our Sheriff Mike Robertson. And with Mike is his charming wife Sharon, so. All right. Former members of elected officialdom would be Randy Voller is there, former mayor of Pittsburgh. Joe Hackney, our former member of the State House. Now, is there anyone I have missed? Please help me out.
Vicky Michelle.
Jane Allen with the school board, thank you. Samantha Cade, one of our district court judges. Betty Wilson, our former county commissioner. Extraordinary. All right. Anyone else? This whole table.
The legislators.
Of legislative people. Stand up.
And standing up you have Senator Mike Wood from Durham, thank you. Mr. Aaron Jackson, who is never away from my side. Representing Cynthia Ball, Wayne County. Representing Alice Dahl, also in Wayne County. I got him. Because he chose not to be active anymore. I want to make sure that we break it one active thing. That was Representative Chaz Beasley, who was also and the honorable, estimable, greatness, Representative Mickey Mashaw of Durham. Because I unfortunately have to see all these people every single day of my life now. So I figure I can name them pretty good. But thank you guys for coming. Didn't realize we missed one former. I thought he got called earlier, and I apologize. My wife had me distracted. Representative Leslie Cox, formerly of Lee County, still in Lee County. Have we missed any other elected officials? Okay, that's good. Now we'll turn the program back over, folks.
Did you call Representative Hackman?
Yeah. Oh, no, they did. Yeah. She worked with Speaker Hackman. She made sure you got that. Thank you.
As for the mundane things, we need to tell you that there are bathrooms on either side here or out the front. I mean, like the airline stewardess. Dennis Wicker, by the way, was unable to be with us today, and so Dennis it will be greatly missed. So, all right. What's next on the issue? Hostesses will guide the tables. As I was coming in, someone said, well, I need to get up front because they always call the up front tables first. But this time, they're going to be hostesses, one at the front and one at the back. So those of you at the back will not have to wait until next Tuesday to get some table. All right, let's enjoy it.
Good. Yeah, good. How are you? How are you, sir? I know I want to.
Valerie got chat.
Get out of the
Oh, yeah, yeah. Right. I've seen that online. It's been circulating on yeah, down there in the manhole.
Yeah, my father died in 97, and it's hard to realize that, a long time ago. He worked in ag in the state, professor, and also worked in the agriculture department, 4-H.
Ladies and gentlemen, honored guests, I am privileged to introduce a fellow friend and fellow North Carolina cattle farmer. I'm not sure whether his experience with his cattle informed his relations with the North Carolina legislature during his tenure as governor, or that his years in Raleigh, the longest-serving governor, 4 terms, made it easier for him to work with cows. In the 1970s, as a supporter of the Equal Rights Amendment, with his wife Carolyn, he urged the North Carolina legislature to pass it. It failed ratification in our legislature by only 2 votes. North Carolina could still be the 38th state to pass it and add it to the United States Constitution. As a champion for public education, under his leadership, one of the best early childhood education programs in the nation was created. Professional standards for North Carolina teachers were raised. During one of his terms, teachers' salaries was raised by 35%. He has been quoted as saying, "Teachers have the hardest and most important jobs in America. They are building our nation, and we should appreciate them, respect them, and pay them well." A statement we wish a majority of our current legislature would embrace and enact.
That's right.
He will be forever known as North Carolina's education governor. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Honorable James B. Hunt.
Becky, I remember when I started calling the First Lady. She was First Lady for 16 years. And I remember when we used to come over here and sell cattle and buy cattle, and you had me speak to the high school graduation here in this county. I have so many wonderful memories of Chatham County. And one thing that you would have no way to know about, Madam Mayor, is that I actually went to school here one day. Dr. Carl Henley, who married Rossie Lindsay, took me. He played, he was in the FFA and played all the sports at Pittsburgh. And I went to school with him one day, right down here in the elementary school. I remember where he was. And it looked like it was going to be too hard, so I didn't move here. But I cherish the thought. And I cherish the thought, and am so proud and thankful to see all of you here tonight. Every person that's come in here. I haven't shaken hands with all of you, but I'm not done yet. And if I don't get you, Carolyn will. But we are delighted to be here with all of you. And I want to tell you, I read the New York Times, part of it, while Carolyn was driving up here today. You know I wasn't in too good a mood. But I want to tell you now, after looking at you all, and knowing what you're doing, what you have done, and the great victories we're going to have, I'm in a great mood. And we're going to go out and win things this year and this coming year. If I talked about all the great leaders who are here tonight, we'd be here all night. And Carol has told me I can't stay all night. But I got to mention Joe Hackney, one of the great leaders in North Carolina. I worked with him when we did such great things for education and jobs and the environment and so on. And I'm just thrilled to be here with him tonight and with so many of you. I will not go through all the names, but you know I know who you are. And I am thankful for what you are. And so the first thing I want to say is, you're here. You're here for this great man, Robert Reives, who's doing a terrific job in the House and who has a great future politically in North Carolina. Now, he's raised a lot of money here tonight. I just helped him some. I have to ask Carolyn to give me a check. But he's doing a great job, and of course, we are so very proud of our speaker. He's doing a great job for this state of North Carolina. Darren Jackson, I know it was introduced earlier, but Mr. Speaker, would you stand up and let us all give you another big round of applause and thanks for all you've done. And if he's already walked out, we'll tell him about it when we next see him. Again, I have such great memories of this county. I knew this county when it was purely agriculture. I know where the farms were. I know where the people lived. And of course, some of that we miss. But when I think now about Chatham County and the progress you're making, and the highly respected progressive leaders you have here, and the fact that you're out here in such great numbers, really gives me a thrill, because I've got a feeling that in the months to come, we're going to bring some change about in North Carolina and in this country. I believe we're going to do it. And we're going to say we're going to do it. So thank you for all that you've done. Do you remember when we had an Excellent Schools Act and raised teacher pay over 4 years? We raised teacher pay to the national average among states. We did it in North Carolina, the national average. We've been down about 45th. We did that. We're capable of that. And I want to say to you that while I'm distressed about a lot of things that are happening in the legislature, I am thrilled that we have a great Democratic governor, Roy Cooper, and let's give him everything we can in terms of our support on our I've been sort of keeping in touch with Chatham County. And one of the things that pleases me the most, of course, I'm delighted with the leadership you have here, the public officials, but I am really pleased with the strength of the party. I want everybody who's a Democratic leader for the precinct level, county level, whatever, all of you all stand up if you're a Democratic leader elected in this county, working hard down to the precinct level. All of you, thank you all very, very much. Because we've got great leaders who are going to be on the ticket next year. But folks, we're going to win this thing by getting out and going door to door. Carolyn Hunt can tell you about going door to door in the poor trailer parks in Wilson County where we live. We want to go and find every single voter. If people are not registered to vote yet, we want to get them registered to vote. And if we will do that, including working with our young people, we'll bring about great change in this year to come. And I know that you've been working at it. Thank you. You've been working at it. The state has heard about Chatham County and all that you've done and are continuing to do. Folks, there's a lot to make us disheartened these days in terms of some of the stuff in Raleigh, and especially in Washington, D.C. We remember those good days when the Democrats were leading things in the executive branch and in the legislative branch. And by the way, while we still want to build our support and strengthen those levels, one thing you can be sure of today, we've got a Democratic Supreme Court of North Carolina. And he will make it happen. We can and must do the same thing this year. I'm not going to talk a long time here tonight. I've been told not to. But let me tell you, we can elect Democrats who will be fair about when you vote, who won't lie about it, and who will help us have a Democratic majority in the House of Representatives in Raleigh next year. We're going to do that this coming year. We're going to change our legislation. Now, our candidates are going to do fine. They'll be out telling the story, campaigning. You've had them introduced here today. But we've got to do the job on the ground. Carolyn and I live in one precinct in Wilson County. We know it inside and out, and those that we don't know, we're getting to know. That's what we have to do throughout this county. Get every single person registered to vote. And let's look for those young people. We've got a real strong effort ongoing in our county now to register the young Hispanics in our county. There are a lot of them. They should be our way. And they'll vote our way, I think, if we'll talk to them and share things with them and give them a chance. I urge you to do the same thing here. But let us, as we go forward, now here we are near the end of September, the 1st of October. We've got primaries coming up. When are they, Robert? Pardon? The filing period starts in December of this year. So be thinking about that. We want to have the right people run and enough of them. But we've got to be getting ready for that election year in the precincts in Chatham and Wilson County and all over the state of North Carolina. We're at this stuff, folks, because we believe in human beings. We believe that all of us were created equal. That all of our people should have a chance to have a good life, to have the food and the love and the health care and everything else that they need to have. I'm so proud of the progress we've made in Washington under Barack Obama. Thank goodness for the great progress we made in giving people health care for the first time. And the Republicans are going to help us in Raleigh do something about that. We will keep working on that health care. I'm so proud of the House and the Senate that is trying so hard to expand Medicaid and working with our great governor, Roy Cooper, to do that. I'm especially, as you all know, interested in how we're doing on education. I was a young lieutenant governor many years ago when we did not have public kindergartens. Some of you think we've always had them. No, we hadn't. I'd have married an Iowa farm girl. What year did we get married, darling? Anyhow, I brought her from Iowa to North Carolina, and she'd gone to public school kindergarten in Iowa, and we didn't have it. So I said, we're going to change that. And I worked with a Republican governor named Jim Holzhauser, who was a nice fellow. And we worked our heads off, and the leaders of the legislature, Mickey, you may well have been there then, for all of your great leadership over those years. And we, in 3 years, we phased in every school in North Carolina so that our children would have public school kindergarten. And that wasn't enough. So we got the idea of having very good early childhood education. Now, good parents provide that. And my wife was a great example of it. But a lot of parents don't have the opportunity to do it in the best way. And that's the reason that we came up with this concept that is based on the counties. How many of you have been involved in Smart Start here in this county? I know several of you have told me today that you have. It's great if children can get everything they need at home, but if those parents need to work, then we want those children to be in a great situation so they get the health care and the love and the attention and stimulation and the strong support to make them believe that they're worth something. They can do something and be somebody, and they can if we help them. And the Democratic Party believes in it. And that's why we put that through. We did raise teacher pay to the national average. And you know, at the same time we're doing that, the scores were going up, up, up in North Carolina. They were. And that happens in large measure because we have great teachers. Great teachers. A lot of you in this room, how many of you got any teachers in this room? Or you are teachers, or you have been teachers? And I don't know if all you have to in your hand, but you could. We believe in public schools in North Carolina. And I want the public schools to get the support they need to have. And we need to do all the things that our people need. So tonight you have come out to support Robert Reives, a young man who is a superb attorney who has spent his life working to improve things and to serve people well. We're very proud of his work in the legislature, and he is now the deputy leader in the legislature of the minority party. And he has a great future too, as do all the rest of our folks who are here today. So I want you to stand behind this young man. I don't know, I did ask him how much money he raised here today, and then I gave him a check for $1,000. So he's got a little more than he did have. Now I can't do that for everybody, by the way. It's a great investment in him, and I expect I'll get a lot more telephone calls. I want you to understand that the way we're going to change things in North Carolina and get them back to where we had them one time, where we were viewed all over the country as this great progressive state. I've had people here today who told me they moved here from New Jersey because of North Carolina's reputation in education and so many other areas. Thank goodness you've come. Now help us turn out the Republicans, and you will have done your duty. But the fact is, we've had a great history. I started out in politics working for a man who later became governor named Terry Sanford. I was student body president, NC State. And Terry Sanford was thinking about running for governor. He'd been a paratrooper in the war, great man, had this great idea about improving teaching. And he said to me, he said, Jim, how about doing something for me? I want to have the young people to be a part of my organization. He said, how about going around the state and organize students for Sanford for governor? I did it. It paid off, and it's been paying off through the years. We've got to do a lot more in terms of working with young people. But we can do it. We can bring the change about. Now, first of all, we've got this great governor. Thank goodness for Roy Cooper. And I want you to understand, please work hard for him and talk for him and push for him. He needs it and he deserves it. And the legislature. But if we will do our job, if we will keep in mind our beliefs in people and what God wants us to do and how we should treat people, and the kindness and help and caring that we ought to provide to folks, we can really change this state. But we have to work for the people who share those ideas and those views. And the Democrats are the ones who do that work. So today I want to thank you for all you have done. I want to thank you for working hard for Robert Reives, supporting him in this campaign. But I want us to go out tonight after this meeting and ask everybody around, I want you to check on it personally, what precinct you're in and what you need to be doing in your precinct. I want you to plan on going door to door. You can call, but there are too many dadgum, what are those calls that come in we don't want? Yeah, we don't want those. But they want to hear from you, somebody who's real, who's next door. And an even better thing is to go knock on that door, introduce yourself. They'll be thrilled to see you and to know you. and to ask them what they think and what they want done and how you can work together to make Chatham County and the area you live in what it ought to be. Folks, we can do this. We're the heirs of great things in America. You just think of how this country came about. I remember when people were so poor, and listen to all the things they have now. I remember a time when African American students rode in a school bus past the school I went to another one that wasn't as good. Thank God for a Supreme Court that changed that. And we are proud of that, and we're not going to let it go back. I'm not sure this Supreme Court will go back. And by the way, that was a lawsuit called Brown versus Board of Education. And one time, Robert, when I was out in Kansas talking to folks, I met Mr. Brown. I really did. The man who brought that lawsuit. So we went through all those years when people weren't being treated right and we needed to bring change. We did a lot to make that happen, but we've got a long way to go. The way we do it now is to work through the Democratic Party, to share our ideas and our thoughts with people, to listen to them, to see what they want to do, and then organize precinct by precinct and do the calling and everything it takes to get people to the polls. I believe we can do it. I know there's some people saying Trump can't be beat. Trump can be beat. And we're the people that know how to do it. And we've got to do it. I don't know what they're going to do with this impeachment stuff in Washington. I hope that goes well. I think he deserves it. But I'll tell you what I do think is happening. I think people are paying more attention now. They're saying, wait a minute, did he do that? And I'll assure you, we got some people in Washington going to make sure we get the facts out. This country, I remember when John F. Kennedy was president. I campaigned for him when I was a student. I remember the great speech he made in Kenan Stadium. Probably not a person here tonight that was in that audience that day, but Carolyn Hunt and I were. And he came here to talk about the country and what we could be. And you all remember that. So let us leave this hall today being thankful and proud of Robert Reives and what he has doing and what he can do, all the great talent he has and ability and great lawyer and great legislator. But let's go out, yes, mad about some things, but hopeful and determined about what can be. We can do it. Elaine Marshall goes all over the state all the time talking to people about this and spiriting them up, and they respond. That's what we got to do. That's what we got to do. I want to see every home in Chatham County contacted between now and the elections next year, and maybe 2 or 3 times. When Carolyn and I went down to campaign for our daughter, named Rachel Hunt, in Charlotte, North Carolina, to help her get elected to the legislature. So we had 100 every polling place, handing those cards out. And this one fellow walked up, and of course I ran over to grab him, and I told him I was former Governor Hunt. He looked at me and said, "You are Hunt, aren't you?" I said, "Yeah, I want you to vote for my daughter Rachel here." He says, "Rachel Hunt's your daughter?" I said, "Yes." He says, "She's been to my house twice." Now that's what we need to do. Let's go to their house twice. At least once. Because folks, we're so fortunate in America. God's given us so much. This freedom, this opportunity, our families. Oh, how lucky we are. Our job now is to go out and give back and help. I want to see Chatham County be the leading county in North Carolina this coming year in terms of how you're producing that vote. You can do it, but you do it one by one. Go to precinct by precinct, person by person, home by home, and of course the candidates will be doing their job. But I want us to do it. I want you to do it. I'm here on a Sunday afternoon. Carolyn's already ruled out Sundays long ago. But I came for Robert Reives. And I'm going to keep tabs now on Chatham County. Becky, I'm expecting you to report, but I got other ways of checking. And I'm saying seriously to every person in this room, every single soul, I want you to go out and work. I want you to work in your precinct. I want you all to organize those precincts so you've got the names, addresses, and telephone numbers, and go door to door and do whatever it takes. I know about the great economic growth in this county, and I know about your great sheriff and the great job that he's doing, and his people are working. Yes, indeed. But we can do this job by working hard at it and working smart at it. That's what I want us to do. Just think about all that God's given to you. And I'm speaking directly to every one of you. Think of how lucky you are. Think of what you've been given. And think of all those who need to have some similar opportunities. If we'll do that, and we're going to have a chance to show our thanks for all that's been given to us, and to make Chatham County and North Carolina and America into what I think we want to all want to see happen. And that's to make our country and our communities and our great state of North Carolina all that it can be, all that it should be, all that it must be. Thank you all and good luck.
First, I think I need to say thank you again, Governor Hunt. Please give him another round of applause. I want to tell all you thank you for being here. I'll be candid with you, it's going to be a little tough to get through this one. A lot of you remember last year, I wasn't able to stand up here. And I'm going to tell you, boy, if you have not had a major leg injury, don't. It can change some perspective. I had to lay on my back for 2 months. Had a brand new district, thanks to the fact that our districts change, it seems like every day. And I tell you, it's to see all of you here is just a blessing beyond anything I deserve. So I want to thank you all for being here. I really do. The other thing I want to do is thank you for all your support. We've had great campaigns, great results every time, and it's been, when it was Chatham and Lee County, and I've still got all the Lee County folk here, we got great results. We got Chatham and Durham last time, and I got somebody I'm going to point out that gets irritated every time I point her out. I'm going to point her out anyway. But Patience Vandenbush. Patience is a precinct chair, and Patience was in Durham. She had not met me. When she found out what the new districts were, and everybody else was calling, like, what are you going to do, and how's this going to, everybody's kind of in a panic about, new district and all that stuff. She called and said, look, I'm in one of your 3 precincts. You're going to come meet us. You're going to come talk to us, and we're going to see what you're all about. And I could not have had a better supporter, because obviously I got a chance to meet her, and then I got injured. But she worked those precincts, she got people out, they canvassed, they did it, and folks, that's what wins elections. We have an opportunity next year to change a lot of all the bad that's going on, and we really do. But just like I had to decide, thanks to my loving wife, who had to remind me during my injury that one day I would walk again. Now, She had to remind me of that. We've got to remember we can walk again. We've got to remember whatever bad happens to us, sometimes bad just happens. Sometimes we take our foot off the gas, sometimes we're not paying attention, sometimes we're thinking of other things, and sometimes the bad just happens. But I hope that everybody here understands, just as the bad happens, good happens. And this world is full of good. It's full of good people, it's full of good things, it's full of good opportunity. But most of it is just a matter of us helping ourselves. He helps those who help themselves. And we don't always remember that. A lot of times what we do is we fall into that rut that the other side, I would say, has done a good job of putting us in. If I ask you to raise your hands, and I'm not, to tell me if you're sick of politics, I'd probably get a lot of hands if you were being honest. Because you get tired of it. Every day you look at the news, it's something bad. It's something crazy. It's something that you're sitting there thinking, this didn't happen when I was younger. And it's just insane that we've allowed it to happen. And the reality is we've allowed it to happen. And we've got to get better. But the way it gets better is by doing what you've done in support of me in this campaign. Because I'll tell you, when I first started this campaign, I think anybody will tell you, Dale's up here right now on our Board of Education, and I remember calling her from the parking lot of Best Buy to tell us that, hey, look, I'm coming to you, County. I'd like a chance to meet you. I'd like a chance to talk to you. And again, Dale talked, and we talked, and we talked. And when we finished talking, I came to meet her. And then one of the most important things that happened to me in that campaign happened. Dale believed in me. She believed that I was there for a purpose. She believed that I had a chance to do something great. And her belief suddenly made me believe. And it wasn't just Dale. Because the first person who got me about it is my campaign manager, wherever she is, Jan Tarr. If you've missed her, she's got red hair. There she is. And I like to thank Jan every chance I get because I would not have considered the position. And the reason I wouldn't have considered the position is the same reason I want you guys to remember going into 2020. It's hard putting yourself out in public. Especially these days with social media. You know, Governor Hunt, when you were running, the good thing is if something happened on the farm, it stayed on the farm. These days, if you did something in 8th grade, somebody's got it on video somewhere, and it's going to come out. And I remember when Jan talked to me and she said, hey, this position's opened up, you need to consider running for it. I've never run for office, and I said, that's real sweet, Jan. So then she called back later that weekend, and she was just like, so what are you going to do? And I was just like, I'm not going to run. But thank you, Jan. I really appreciate it. And I always appreciate your friendship. So she said, okay, this is on a Saturday. So Sunday morning she calls me. And I love Jan. We've known each other since 4th grade. I was kind of like, Jan, work with me. She said, are you on Facebook? And I said, yeah, I just got on Facebook because we were having a class reunion. She said, I need you to go to this page. And she gave me the page to go to, and it was my page. And it had 500 likes. I was like, I don't even know how that happens. But what was important is I said, if she believed that much in me, and she believes I can do a good job, and maybe I can do a good job. And so talking to Dale, talking to Jane, talking to other of you, and I won't start listing people because I'll forget somebody, and then you'll say, I'll never support that guy again. So, but you start talking to people, and then you have that belief. And what that belief also does is it makes you realize what this is about. And these offices are about you. None of the elected officials that you have in this room, and this I can tell you frankly, none of them are sitting around thinking about how they can take care of themselves, what they can do to enrich their pockets, what they can do to make themselves more important. What they're thinking of is how do I help all these people who have spent all their time helping me? And when you realize the power of your belief, of your work, of how much it means to people, just a kind word, just a, hey, keep it up, keep doing a good job, then suddenly you realize you're building something. And the next thing you know, the kind of people that you want to run for office are running for office. The kind of people you want representing you in your legislature and your local offices are representing you. The people that represent us in the majority right now don't represent us. And let's be frank, if you're Democrat or Republican, they're not representing either party. They are representing how they can take care of themselves and what they can do to make things better for themselves. When I heard Governor Hunt talking about education, it is amazing. There are two things that I just did not think I would have to have a conversation about when I got to the General Assembly. And that's that you want to make sure that everybody has a chance at a really good education and that everybody has a chance at really good health care. And it is amazing the efforts that have been going through in that General Assembly to make sure everybody doesn't have equal access to education, and that if they can help it, nobody gets access to equal health care, except, of course, us that serve in the General Assembly. Nobody's voting to cut ours off. But think about that. And your question is, do you want those kind of people continuing to make decisions for you and your children, your family members, your loved ones? Every one of you, if I ask you right now, has a story about health care, about where your life would be without it. That would take me to my mother, who is back there, who is responsible for just about everything I've done in my life, and teaching me and being good. All my life, I wish I could be as good as she is. But thank you, Mama, for that. But when my mother fell ill, I was in my 3rd year in law school. If she doesn't have health insurance, she's not here. If she doesn't have quality health care, she's not here. And your question has to be this: is it fair that she wouldn't be here? Is it fair that she wouldn't have the opportunity? Because the people who are serving in leadership in the General Assembly right now believe, yes, it is. It's fair that some of us over here can get health care and some of us don't. They think that's just the breaks. And it's always funny with them because, again, they're getting their health care through state insurance. A lot of them have gotten their wealth through inheritance, which is nothing wrong with inherited money, Dad. But the truth is, when you sit there and you listen to them talk about what they deserve and what other people don't deserve, again, your question becomes, how can we continue to let this happen? Why are we not better than this? And I'll tell you the answer, and it's easy. It's harsh, but it's easy. It's because we let our foot off the gas. Because we started sitting out elections. We started finding reasons not to go. I had 2 friends of mine that were arguing about an election the other day. And of course, I didn't say this response. I'm repeating what somebody else said. But one of the friends was like, well, they're all the same. I mean, a politician's a politician. As I'm sitting here, I'm right here. All they care about themselves, won't do anything for anybody, and so I'm not voting for anybody. And my friend on the other side said, that's lazy. He said, that's lazy, that's not taking a side, that's not doing anything to do something about your own future. And the truth is, your government should be spending every single day trying to figure out how to make your life better. You should be spending every minute trying to figure out how to make your government better. Yeah. We are in the greatest community, in the greatest state, in the greatest nation. You know what we've been doing for the last 8 years isn't representative of who we are. I remember our great days. I remember Governor Hunt. My father, who again, I pointed out over there because I love him to death. And I thank him for being here. And I thank him for his contribution. But I remember my dad was working under Governor Hunt. He was working with Dennis Weber, who was the lieutenant governor at that time. And I'm telling you, every single interaction I had, I was a kid in college, didn't know what any of that meant. All I knew was I had to come over to see my dad in Raleigh because that was faster for me to get money than to get down Sanford. So I would get over there, I'd get a parking ticket in his name, thanks. But I'd have a chance to interact with Governor Hunt. Everything you see about him right here is the exact same person he was at that time. And he was about one thing, trying to figure out how to make things better. I love it when my good friend, Representative Michaud, who I'm hoping will be able to make a district for so he can come back. But Representative Michaud would be up there, and he talked about Governor Hunt and his understanding of what African Americans needed. We needed representation on the judicial bench. We needed all kinds of things, and understanding that it wasn't about him, it was about making this state better. So again, we know we've done it before. I could name public servant after public servant in here. We've done it before. We're able to do it. We can keep it going. But we've got to decide that that's what's going to happen. And if we keep sitting around and if we keep waiting for the perfect, let me tell you, there are no perfect candidates. I appreciate y'all that thought I was perfect, you know. But there aren't. There are no perfect candidates. There's nobody that's going to agree with everything they decide, everything that they want to do, every position that they take. That can't happen because that's what makes us individuals. But what you can get are perfect people to represent you. People who understand that I'm here to represent you. I'm here to make things better for you. That's easy to get, but we've got to decide to do that. So when we see all these ads and all these things that just get us sick and get us tired, we've got to stop doing that. We've got to stop letting it get to us because the bottom line is we're going to change things next year. I've got no doubt about that. The question is, how much of that change? And I'm going to tell you, for all of you who used to play sports, this is the time to send a message. This is the time to do like that other school that's 8 miles from the greatest university in North Carolina. You start running up the score. You start putting people out. You start making people understand not only are we not going to tolerate what you've been doing, but we hope you understand from this wasn't close. And so you're not welcome back because we're moving forward in a different direction. Because we've got to make the decision that we're going to be better and that these things are going to be better. This government is great. This is the greatest government this world has ever known. We've got a representative form of government that everyone studies. Everyone tries to figure out how to be like. So let's use it. Think of the people in all the other countries who would kill for the opportunity to just be able to vote for their leaders, to be able to put the people they want in office. We get that opportunity every year. And don't miss any elections. I want you to elect me in 2020, but I also want you to elect our folk in 2019 because this is where it gets started. You've got to elect the town councils, county commissioners, boards of education, everything. You've got to make it all the way down because what you've got to do is tell people this is what we believe a government should look like. And when you do that, and when you support these people, when you make them feel good, you make them feel like this is really worth doing, then you get your best form of government. Your best form of government is a government that makes sure that every human being within the confines of this state has their best opportunity to be their best person. That's what we should all want to make sure we have. Because the bottom line is, we don't know who the next Bill Gates is going to be. We don't know who the next Albert Einstein is going to be. We don't know who the next anybody is going to be. Because that just happens. That happens when you put an infrastructure around that person. That happens when they have health care, when they have a good educational system, when they've got a good environment. That happens when they have economic opportunities to abound. We want people to stay in North Carolina. We don't want to keep training them in these great schools and send them everywhere else. But we've got to make that environment. So I would ask, as Governor Hunt asked, this is important. In 2020, we're going to have a lot of decisions to make. And it's going to get tiresome. One thing I would advise, you tell people to vote up ballot. We spend a lot of time voting down ballot. We don't always get all the way down the ballot. You tell people vote up ballot because the closer your government is to you, the more it affects you. So we appreciate what you do at the national level, but I've never heard anybody say, I'm voting for Robert Reives, I'm not voting for that president guy. Think that through. Make sure that people have people that they can touch, people they can see, people that they get introduced to. Because that's what makes people believe in government again. Why did I believe in government before I ever got in? Because I met this man. Why did I believe in our county commissioners before? Because I had a father who I thought did an excellent job. Because I know what they went through. I know how hard it was. And I know that they knew that it was all worth it because they advanced their areas, their states, and their communities. Again, I look at Representative Mickey Michaud, 42 years. 42 years. And the first lesson I learned from him wasn't in the General Assembly. It was in 1996 when I had to come before him for a bill. And I know you don't remember because you're that decent. But what I remember, Democrats are in the complete majority. He's head of appropriations, I believe, at that time. And we had to do something to kind of help our district out. I had no idea what I'm doing. I know we need the bill. I know smarter people than me had helped me put that bill together. The first thing he did is said, I'm fine, I'll help you, here's the things you got to do, but I'm going to check in with Leo Daughtry, who was in the minority at the time. And he said, I'm not going to just run this over Leo's head, because that's what government's supposed to be. People talking to each other, people dealing with each other. So the bottom line is, if you have people who are in office right now who don't know that simple part, you got to get them out. Chatham-Durham County, we're going to be in good shape, we hope. But there are other counties out here. I'd like to tell you there are 98 more. And those 98 more need your help. So what you're doing today is going to help us with that. Because of you guys last year, I was able to give more money than I ever had for the caucus, and we needed every dime. And that's why we flipped 10 seats. This year, we've got to flip 6 more seats. And when we say flip, we got to flip. We have maxed out all the seats that normally would vote Democrats in. And until gerrymandering is over, that's what we've got to compete with. But we can do it as long as we participate. So when you walk out, not only do I want you to keep in mind all the things that Governor Hunt has told you, keep this in mind. This is your community. The tax money we spend is your tax money. The people in this community are your brothers and sisters. We all matter. It doesn't matter what you look like, where you're from, what religion you practice, anything. We advance together or we fall apart. And that's what we've got to remember. So when you've got an opportunity to invest, which is really what this is, invest in your time, invest in your money, invest in your wherewithal, please do it. Because me running for office, Governor Hunt, none of us are the ones that really make this happen. The people that make this happen are you. Because you've got friends and you've got family that look to you. If you're here, I promise you, you've got 5 or 6 people who are your friends and families that are going to come to you and say, who do I need to vote for? And what do I need to do? And who is this person? Here's what I need you to do. I know it's going to be hard to say something nice about me, figure one out. But seriously, do this for your people that are running. It's a hard enough job. Let me tell you what doesn't get people to come out and vote. When you say, well, I guess vote for Reives. I don't know if there's anybody else to vote for. I guess you kind of got to do it. He's a Democrat. Don't do that. Because that person now stays home. You tell them whatever it is that makes you believe in your candidate, you make sure they understand that and understand how it works for them. Because if you do that, next year is easy. If you get out here and talk where you're supposed to talk, push where you're supposed to push, knock on doors, phone bank, you've just got to get to the people that you know. I hope you get to people that you don't know, but we got a lot of family we got to talk to right now. My mother-in-law, who helped me get through all of my injuries, says she'll tell you that we got a family member right now we got to go talk to since we leave here. To make them understand what the government does and what it's good for. But don't leave a stone unturned. Don't leave one person not talked to. Don't leave anything behind. Because you only get so many chances. And if 2020 goes bad for us, I hate talking gloom and doom, but folks, it's going to be bad. If you care about gerrymandering, you're going to get gerrymandered again. If you care about what's going on with the presidency, guess what? You'll have a second-term president who has nothing to lose. If you're concerned about what's happening with the state assembly leadership, guess what? They're back in for another 2 years. So again, we can't walk out of here thinking that, well, somebody else is going to take care of it. You've got to take care of it. So I thank you for all that you've done today. I thank you for being here today. I thank you for all the support. It is amazing, amazing when you can get this kind of support, how it makes you feel when you're going to do your job every day. And if you give me one point of personal privilege, I again want to personally thank this young lady over here, Cynthia Reives. We probably got a little more what she signed up for when we started dating at 18. Governor Hunt, thank you for being here today. Again, thank my parents. Thank you, Representative Michelle and Shane and Jan, who have worked their behinds out tirelessly to be here. Thank you guys. And thank all of you. Have a good evening.
So this is the time where we get to sing happy birthday to this old man. But I do want to say thank you to everybody for taking time this afternoon to be here and to celebrate with us. You guys are faithful with doing this. You don't have to do it, but I appreciate it more than you know. And so we want to say happy birthday to you. And Ms. Reives, if you will help us out and get us started. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Robert. Happy birthday to you. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful afternoon. This concludes it.